Practice Management Systems is a dental consulting company that goes into dental practices and provides opportunity, stability, and future not only for the doctor but for the staff and for the patients. When I'm asked to come into a dental practice, the very first thing that the doctors will say to me is, I would like to have ownership back over my practice. So what happens over time is the doctor gets so tired and stressed from just doing dentistry, being a technician, that he loses sight or she loses sight of really managing their practice. What does that look like? So my job is to come in and help them to have a new vision, get excited again about doing dentistry, being able to communicate that to their team, which is really valuable. A lot of times when I come in, it's not that they don't have the right team in place, it's just that the team doesn't have any direction. So my job is to come in and give that leadership to the doctor. And so once that leadership is given back to the doctor and the staff feels more ownership and accountability to be able to do their jobs without being micromanaged, it really makes a successful practice. So really, a lot of times the doctors really don't know what they're looking for, they just know that something's broken. One of the things that I will start with in every dental practice is I will start at the front office. And the reason for that is because if we're not getting patients through the front door, then they're never going to have an opportunity to meet the clinical team. One of the first things that I'll work with the front office on is how to answer the phones. And what's really important with answering the phones is making sure that, number one, that there's someone available to answer the phones during business hours. Number two, that the phone's being answered within 2 to 3 rings. Once we answer that phone, we're really looking for a smile in that person's voice and that that person's ready to listen, providing 100% of the time customer service. The next thing that we look at is once the patient comes into the office, is how do we greet that patient? And that's very valuable, and a lot of people miss this all the time. I think all of us can test to a time where they walked into any kind of business and basically got no eye contact, no acknowledgement whatsoever. So one of the things that we really focus on and strive for is that when that patient walks in the door, that we're aware of who that patient is, that we're standing up, we're greeting them with a smile, we've got the eye contact, so we make the patient feel like you're in the right place, we're going to take really good care of you. Once we get the patient seated and ready to go for the clinical team, one of the things that we'll work on is the flow of the office. So how we bring that patient back to the clinical area. We work with the clinical team on how do we communicate to that patient? How do we best meet the patient's wants today? We're going to take care of their needs, but we have to hear what they want. And then making sure that the patient is aware of what they can expect out of today's appointment. So again, another thing that we really focus on is the eye contact, body language. We look like we're listening to what the patient's saying, and we're making sure that we have permission. Before we move forward today, we're going to take the necessary x-rays. We're going to go ahead and do fluoride today. The doctor's going to come in and complete the exam. So we're really educating the patient and taking control of the appointment. Then the next thing that we really try to focus on is making sure that when that patient is leaving our dental practice, that they leave with what was done today, what to expect at their next appointment. There's a clear handoff from the clinical team to the front office. That's one of the things we really focus on with consulting, is making sure the patient's perception. What did the patient feel when they came into your practice today? Did they feel like they had to tell the front office, the assistant, the hygienist, and the doctor the same thing? It makes the patient feel like, does anybody communicate around here? So really, systems. Everything we do is systems, and it's a team approach. And I get to have the opportunity to come alongside the doctor, come alongside the team, and see the practice grow and be successful. I see sad faces turn into happy faces. I see opportunities, stability, and future for not only the doctor but for the employees. And so it's very rewarding to see that turnaround. And when you have a happy doctor, you have a happy staff, you have happy patients. So that's rewarding for me, because at the end of the day, it's all about the patient.